Good afternoon, everyone. I'm State Representative Mike Weiner, and this is Open Mic. Today, I just want to talk about an investigative documentary, I suppose you could call it, that was on the TV last night on the Twin Cities television station, which is shining a harsh spotlight on the massive fraud in the Minnesota State's programs and why you, as taxpayers and citizens, should be angry and demand accountability. So, What the Fraud, produced by KSTP Channel 5 in Minnesota, is a special report series dedicated to uncovering how taxpayer dollars are being misused, how fraud is being orchestrated against state systems, and how lax oversight is allowing it. It features cases like child care assistance fraud, Medicaid and welfare programs abuse, but notably the major food aid meal program investigation during the COVID era. What it revealed, the series shows that fraud in Minnesota isn't just a few bad apples, it's systemic. The audit found that the Minnesota Department of Education, MD&E, allowed a nonprofit Feeding Our Futures to operate with weak oversight and claims to have defrauded hundreds of millions of dollars from children's meal programs. It quotes state officials calling the pattern of fraud organized crime. I believe that was our governor, Tim Walz, himself. The show reports that even when fraud is detected, recovery is low and prosecutions only scratch the surface. And there's several reasons. First of all, that Minnesota should be angry about this, and that's really the misuse of public funds. Taxpayer dollars that were intended for meals, childcare, service for vulnerable children are being siphoned off instead of serving the public purpose. That's fundamentally a breach of trust, which, number two, is the erosion of faith in the government systems. So when programs meant to help people are so vulnerable to fraud, citizens lose confidence that their taxpayer dollars are being used effectively, which undermines the entire social contract. Number three, opportunity cost. Every dollar stolen or misused is a dollar not available for other needs. Education, public health, infrastructure. In tough budget times, this waste is especially unacceptable. We've talked about roads and bridges, how we don't fully fund education, public health, the rise in healthcare, and yet millions of dollars are being frauded. Weak oversight and lack of accountability. The program shows that state oversight mechanisms failed. For instance, they found that the MD&E, Minnesota Department of Education, failed to act on warning signs and didn't effectively didn't hold the nonprofits accountable. The implication is that fraud was allowed to grow because the state did not have strong controls. That makes it not just an isolated criminal act, but a systems failure. And fifth, or lastly, the large scale of the fraud. This isn't petty theft. These are massive schemes. The Feeding Our Futures alone is $250 million. And we're talking about hundreds of millions, which is not a small issue, it's a major scandal. So, if you get the chance, look it up. What the Fraud is the title of it. It was on Channel 5. And you're seeing a mirror of how badly things go when oversight fails, when public funds are misused, and when wrongdoings become widespread. As a taxpayer in Minnesota, you have every right to be angry because these systems are supposed to protect your investment in government, your contributions through taxes, and ensure they are used to provide services, not to be exploited. So, this is more than just a news program. It should be a wake-up call. Call for you, the taxpayers, to say enough. Enough of the systems that allowed large-scale abuse of the public trust, enough of letting the state have millions of dollars slip through their hands, and enough of being powerless while others benefit at your expense or our expense. So, I just wanted to bring this up to everyone's attention. You can look it up online. What the fraud? And once again, though, folks, once you see these things and understand them, we have a responsibility and a duty to help make things better. Because remember, our best days are not behind us, they're in front of us. It's up to us to make that happen. Thank you and God bless.